growing the state through livestock. Governor Pete Ricketts weighs in. Plus, a new coalition hopes to bring more livestock shows to Nebraska. And we've got a look at the state FFA convention and some of the hot topics under discussion there. Grow starts now. Nebraska's legislature continues debate on a bill that could have huge implications for livestock. That's our top story. LB 106 would create a matrix, a scoring system for counties to factor pros and cons of livestock. Farmers say the patchwork of local zoning rules may hold the state back. They argue the bill creates more certainty. Governor Pete Ricketts says the bill is a good opportunity for the state's economy.
Well, I think one of the ways that we can grow our economy here in Nebraska is by promoting livestock. It is an example of value-added agriculture, and certainly with our ethanol industry here, we create the dry distillery grains, we've got water, we've got land. It's certainly a great opportunity for us to grow the economy.
Say they're struggling to find a balance between agriculture and local control. Many say we have some of the best livestock facilities in the state at our state fairgrounds. Now Grand Island leaders are trying to get more use out of those buildings. NTV's Megan Johnson has more.
The four groups involved say they've already been working together, but now under one name, they want more state and national livestock shows and sales to use Grand Island.
The Grand Island Livestock Complex Authority.
The state fair director says it's a long name for what they, the Grand Island Chamber, Visitors Bureau, and Fauner Park have been doing for a few years now.
While GILCA has been working to keep the livestock buildings busy, we certainly can do a better job.
Cattle, goats, horses, and more have used the state fair's livestock buildings, a 5-year-old $42 million investment, which are meant for more shows than just the fair.
They utilize the city. And
the GOCA members may have slightly different goals, whether it's visitor numbers or where dollars get spent, but in the end they say promoting the livestock complex is a win for all.
when Fauner Park, when these new buildings are busy, Grand Island's busy. And that's what we're in the business of doing, is growing the tourism economy in this community.
Our goal as we move forward and look to recruiting additional shows is obviously to recruit those shows that have the most impact on our community.
The chamber president says those tend to be youth-focused, as economic impact models say even a small show can pump $50,000 through GI's economy. And avid show people like Taylor Strope, showing Shorthorns here in 2012, say these facilities are almost second to none.
When I compare it to other shows, I think that it's made for livestock, and some other shows, they're not. They're made for putting mats down for wrestling. They're made for completely different things.
GILCA already has 7 big shows and sales lined up this year, 3 of them happening in June. But leaders say they want these facilities to be that busy year-round.
We're beginning to explore all kinds of opportunities, whether it's rodeos, livestock shows, agricultural expositions, those kinds of things, to bring existing shows in and maybe to create a few new ones in the future. We'll see where it goes.
The Fauner Park complex is no stranger to change, and CEO Hugh Miner says GILCA is just the next step.
Fauner, even back then, had partners with the chamber and others that promoted this facility.
3 national animal shows are already penciled in for 2016, and GILCA says they're working on 5 potential ones for 2017.
A livestock feed company has agreed to pay some fines after an accident that killed 2 workers. International Nutrition will pay $78,000. OSHA announced the settlement. As part of the agreement, International Nutrition agreed to hire a consultant to ensure the new plant in Omaha is built in compliance with all OSHA standards. Several other workers were injured, 4 trapped in the rubble and had to be rescued by firefighters. Farmers clash with a government-funded project they blame for flooding on the Platte River. Here's more.
We're not just playing in the river.
Improving habitat for endangered birds is serious science, so says the head of the Platte River Recovery Program. Icy floodwaters damaged rural roads and farm fields near Wood River this winter, but Jerry Kenny says the environmental project is not to blame.
We were not the cause of the flooding, and rather than arguing about that, would rather spend our energies working with people to help improve that situation.
Kenny tells the Hall County Board flooding has long been a problem in an area known as Shoemaker Island, saying he understands the damage it does.
The river is a powerful force, and when it decides to head your direction, it can be very frightening.
There's a lot of smoke and mirrors there.
Frustrated landowners are unconvinced and say work on river islands has made those ice jams worse.
I do not agree that the islands are not causing problems.
Lloyd Lure says the water came up to his hog barns and damaged his wheat crop. He says the government values birds, whose numbers are increasing, over farmers.
Another land grab by the environmental concerns.
Dr. Kenny says they're not after farmers, saying he appreciates the work they do to put food on the table. He says the work of the Platte program will continue under the guidance of a 3-state agreement to improve conditions along the river.
Developing solid, good information to provide to the decision makers.
Drought conditions are getting worse here across the Midwest. The National Drought Mitigation Center at the University of Nebraska says the area covered by moderate drought or worse expanded by nearly 5 percentage points. That's now covering over 36% during the month of March. Dryness worsened last month in Nebraska, Kansas, Colorado, Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota, and Wisconsin. And with it getting drier, that's not ideal for the Kansas wheat crop. The latest government report says 6% of the corn crop has now been planted in Kansas, but the USDA report also noted topsoil moisture is short to very short across Kansas. Farmers have been fertilizing and applying herbicide to their fields this past week. Pinnacle Bank Arena has hosted Jay-Z and Bon Jovi, but now FFA comes to the PBA. The blue corduroy jackets took over Lincoln's Haymarket this past week. FFA moved its state convention. They call it a big upgrade over Pershing Auditorium. Organizers say it brings more visibility for agricultural education.
Well, it's no secret those corduroy blue jackets that our FFA members wear do stand out. And it's great because people ask questions, and we hope that, and we invite those people to engage our members, ask them what their organization's about, ask them why they're passionate about agriculture, because we have some great students in FFA.
FFA membership is exploding, up past 7,000, an all-time high. There are also 157 FFA chapters in Nebraska, breaking the record set back in 1956. Those FFA kids entering the debate over GMOs and organic foods. Here's more.
Paper or plastic isn't the only choice at the supermarket. A growing number of terms appear on food labels: organic, gluten-free, GMO-free. Like many retailers, Russ's and Super Saver say they're trying to meet consumer demand.
We offer some of those in addition to the conventional products, and we try to locate those so they're easy to find for customers, but it's an ongoing challenge for us.
A challenge because, as Larry Elias tells this group of FFA kids,
when people hear the word antibiotic,
he also recognizes advances in agriculture save lives by feeding more around the globe and keep food prices low at home. Genetically modified foods have many critics, though. Even a Holdridge FFA student questioned if they're to blame for her food allergies.
I was wondering if GMOs had any kind of correlation.
Through her FFA classes, Katie studied the research. The scientific consensus shows GMOs are safe.
GMOs have no effect with the increasing allergies. I think that we are more aware, and I believe that in the past, things like that have not been diagnosed properly.
It's truly just having that dialogue.
Students selected for the Agricultural Issues Academy at State FFA are entering the debate, wanting to tell the story of what farmers do.
Lots of misconceptions, and even if you go anywhere in Nebraska or outside of the state, even people who don't understand what a real working farm is or how their crops are grown.
The FFA advisor in Pilger is honored for helping that community recover after devastating tornadoes. Mark Schroeder is egg teacher and FFA advisor at Wisner-Pilger. Following those tornadoes, he mobilized students to help clear debris from farm fields. It took weeks as they cleared thousands of acres. Students say he also raised $1,000 per FFA family affected by tornadoes.
We've had many fundraisers for kids that were affected and had their houses damaged by the tornadoes, so we've done a lot over the past year. He takes the extra step whenever possible to make FFA competitions or just have a sweet conversation with you during the day, and he'll just do anything to make you better and make his day better.
That egg teacher, Mark Schroeder, received special honors, the Gary Scharf Award, at the State FFA Convention this past week. Later, more on a cash crop farmers may be overlooking. Up next, hear from some state FFA leaders.
I'm Asher Scheidler from the Old FFA chapter, and my favorite thing about FFA is all the opportunities that it has to hold.